Is your child having difficulty transitioning from one activity to another? Are you constantly having to remind them over and over and over what is expected of them and they're still not listening to you? Then I'm going to tell you about a First Then board, which is the most effective tool that helps children transition from one activity to another to help them listen to you and be more effective in creating a positive teaching experience for you and a positive learning experience for the child that you are teaching. In this video, I'm going to teach you how to create your very own First Then board, as well as I'm going to give you 4 easy steps on how to implement the First Then board and tell you about the situations in which you would use it. Also, if you stick around to the end, I'm going to give you a free template guide to all the templates that I talk about in this video of how to create your First Then board to help save you time and energy. Hi, for those of you that don't know me, I'm Liz and I'm from Teaching Kids with Liz. I have over 20 years experience working with kids with special needs. I've worked in schools, daycares, private and publicly funded organizations. I've worked alongside with psychologists, teachers, principals, ECEs, behavior therapists, you name it. I also used to run my own private ABA applied behavioral analysis business called Love Kids ABA. Life had other plans for me, and I've been homeschooling my kids for the past 8 years, and I've created a program to help parents learn how to teach their child any skills from increased communication, social skills, toileting, brushing their teeth, brushing their hair, all skills to help them become independent and live a happy, long, and successful life long after you are gone. If you're interested in joining my ABA Your Way program, go to the description and click the link and book a call with me so we can determine if this program is right for you. If you'd like more information, you can also go to my website at teachingkidswithliz.com. Okay, so let's get started on the First Then board. Here is an example of a First Then board. And here's another one, just a little smaller. They're very simple, very easy to make. You can find the template in the description below where you can find these. Very simple, you can just print it out, cut it out. I suggest printing it on cardstock paper and laminating it just so that they can last a lot longer and they won't tear apart on you. So there's a wide variety of different First Then boards. You can decorate them or not. There are many children that require them to be decorated so that they can first start paying attention to the First Then board. That would be the sole purpose of decorating the First Then board. I want you to keep it simple and keep in mind that the purpose of a First Then board is to communicate with the child, first this, then this. First we're going to do this, and then we're going to do this. You can use pictures to stick on there to visually show them first then and then this other part, or you can write it out. It really depends on the level of ability of your child. But when you first start using the board, I would like you to keep it simple so that you can see if it works. And in certain situations, you can decorate it, put your child's favorite object on there and see if they get interested into it. Before making your First Then board, I'd recommend that you write a list of all the activities, toys, and things that your child likes or the areas that they're having difficulty in. Write a list of those areas. So for example, if your child is having difficulty transitioning from the car to the grocery store or the car to the school, I would write the car and school because you're going to want to create pictures for these to be able to visually represent to your child what you're doing. You're also going to want to include their favorite snacks and really highly reinforcing activities such as electronics or what movies they like. So you can really customize this for your child and what your child likes and needs. So first start off with writing a list of all these different things to help you determine what materials that you're going to need. These pictures you can either draw on a piece of paper or you can keep it simple and use real life pictures if you'd like as well. It could be done several different ways. There's one program that I have, there's one resource that I have here. You can also find the link in the description, and this is already made for you. In this one, you have the board already done for you, what I am doing, and it has a now, next, and later part. I like to keep it simple with just the first, then part, just 2. It's less distraction for the child, but this one's great as well, especially if you're wanting to teach them now this is what you're doing to represent now we're doing this and to get them ready for the next 2 activities. In this as well, they have all these little pictures that can be used, and you can just pop these out, and they have some empty ones as well that you can use and write your own pictures on them. These are very good material. If you can wet these and they're not going to get ruined. So I highly recommend this if you are not that creative, or you're just wanting to save yourself some time, and they're pretty inexpensive, and you can customize them yourself. So I do recommend you going to the link in the description and checking that out. Also, if you have time to do things on the computer, you can go right ahead. I don't always have time to do things on the computer. I like to keep it simple, so I personally like to just draw it out myself by hand. But if you're more tech savvy than I am, then go ahead and make it on the computer, and you can create your own, and you can go wild with them. Also, again, you can keep it simple with using a whiteboard. I've done it instead of creating the pictures, where I wrote on the board to the child, you know, first we're going to do this and then we're going to do that. But in that instance, the child was verbal. They were able to read as well. So it was much easier for me to do that and keep it simple. Most importantly, the purpose of the first then board is one side of the first then board part represents what we need to do first, and then the second part represents what we need to do after. So this helps the child transition from one to another. So right here is the first and then part. This is where your picture would go, and this is where your second picture would go, and you would indicate first we're doing this and then we're doing this. It's very simple. However, the hardest part is implementing it. It's teaching it, first ensuring that you're using it correctly and that your child understands, number one, what the pictures are that you are showing. That's your very first step when introducing a first then board, is all the pictures that you're planning to use. You need to show them to your child and ask them, do you know what this means? What does this mean? If they're verbal, then confirm that with them verbally. If they are nonverbal, then you would receptively ask them. So put an array of pictures out and say, you know, which one's the toothbrush, which one's the car, show me this picture. And that way you can confidently know that your child understands what the pictures are in front of them. And that would be your very first step in teaching the first then board, is ensuring that they know what the pictures mean. If your child does not understand what the pictures mean, then your first step would be teaching them those pictures. If you want more, and there's many ways that you can do that. If you want more information on how you can teach that first step, on how you can teach those pictures, leave a comment down below and letting me know that that is what you want and that what your needs are, and then I can help make a video, and I'll make sure to tag you into it. So if your child understands what the pictures mean, then your next step is to introduce it. You don't want to introduce it in a negative situation or when your child is having difficulty. You're going to want to pair the first then board with extremely positive situations to maximize the amount of effectiveness it's going to have and to ensure that it's going to be a positive experience. So having a positive association with it prior will help your child build trust, and you're going to have more likelihood of having success when you bring it out in a difficult time. So the way that you do this is that you bring it out in positive situations when you are offering something even more amazing. So let's say your child's on electronics and they're watching a video and you know they want to watch this other video, then do that and be like, hey, we're now doing this video and we're going to watch this other amazing video. And they're going to be like, yay, it's so awesome. And therefore, the first then board has that positive association. You can also do this with snacks or food. Hey, you finished your food and now you get to have dessert. Do not implement it as a teaching, as a first then you need to do this. No, when you're first implementing, make sure that your child is already getting that reinforcement. You're already moving on to the next one and there's no conditions that are being put on them. This ensures that this positive relationship is built with this first then board. Sorry, I know I keep pointing to my hand and I should have like this, the first then board. I hope you understand that. Okay, so if you've already introduced the first then board and you've already had some negative experience with it, then I would stop all teaching with it and teaching it in difficult situations, and I would go back and teach extremely positive situations just to build that relationship again. I would also change the materials, change the first then board entirely, change the pictures, make it more reinforcing, just make it more fun, if you've already had a negative experience with it before. Okay, so just to review what we have covered so far. Number one, you're gonna make pictures of activities, toys, locations that you know your child will need help in, or just to help communicate with your child. The First Then board comes with some pictures, the one that I showed you previously, or you can make your own. You can also print them off of Google and make your own pictures that are super reinforcing for your child. Number 2, you want to make sure that your child understands those pictures. Sometimes real life pictures are better than the stick figure pictures, so you'll have to determine which type of pictures is best for your child's understanding. Now, number 3, you're then going to want to teach the First Then board in a positive situation only, fun situation, from this toy to that toy, from this meal to a dessert, positive experiences only. Then you're going to want to be prepared and implement it in a difficult situation when it arises. So those are the 4 easy steps of introducing the First Then board. I've seen a lot of parents use it with lots of success, or some parents none at all. I mostly attribute to them not having success to it being improperly introduced, either by the therapist or the parent has introduced it to the child and the negative association was built right away. You can't go in automatically using the First Then board as a teaching tool. You have to create a positive association and teach your child how to use it. There are some examples of situations where you would use a First Then board. So for example, the most one I hear is parents having difficulty transitioning your child from the car to the grocery store, or from the grocery store by the cashier to go through the lineup. Other areas that you can also use it are for toothbrushing. So if your child doesn't like to do any toothbrushing, they can do toothbrushing and then they can read their story. There's many different scenarios that you can customize this. This is why I believe the First Then board is the most absolute excellent, and it is proven to work, evidence-based, proven to work and be effective in helping children transition from one activity to another. So make sure you're starting positive. Start out with watching videos, doing fun electronics things, offer Minecraft, offer their favorite show, whatever it is, keep it positive. If you're wanting to learn more about tools and strategies and more information how you can teach your child, especially if you have a child diagnosed with a learning need such as autism, make sure you comment, like this video if you've liked it, subscribe, and don't forget to hit that notification bell button that gives you notifications of every time I post out new content. Also, if you're interested in joining my ABA Your Way program that helps teach parents any skill to help their child become independent, such as increasing communication, toileting issues, self-help issues, even academic learning, contact me, book a call with me, any skill to help your child be independent and live a happy and successful life. I would love to meet with you and talk with you and help you help your child. Thank you so much for watching. Please help me out by commenting your biggest takeaway below. If you've liked this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell notification button. Oh, and don't forget, go to the description and you'll find the PDF link to all the templates that I showed you in this video. Thanks very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.